Las Vegas isn't dying because of some powerful rival. It's slowly bleeding out from its own self-inflicted wounds. While the Strip celebrates record-breaking revenue numbers, the entire state of Nevada hit a staggering $15.8 billion in 2025. It's a financial mirage. This isn't a story of success. It's a story of arrogance, of how casino corporations shattered an unwritten contract with the American middle class. The weapon of this arrogance is a resort fee. Let's call it what it is, a disguised tax on your vacation. You book a hotel room at what seems like a reasonable rate, only to get ambushed by charges of $45, $55, or even more per night for the privilege of using the pool or Wi-Fi. The old model was simple. Lure guests in with value, knowing they'd spend money on the casino floor. The resort fee flipped that script completely. It punishes you before you've even had a chance to place a bet. And then they came for your car. Paid parking was the final symbol of the new Vegas, a line many thought would never be crossed. The freedom to move between casinos vanished, replaced by daily fees of $20 to $25. It kills the spontaneity, shackling you to a single resort. When you add a $50 resort fee to a $20 parking fee, you're paying a $70 a day tax just to exist in a city that once rolled out the red carpet for you. The promise of value has been utterly destroyed. As Vegas systematically alienated its core customers, a quiet revolution was happening. A new generation of casino destinations has risen, built on the very principles Vegas abandoned: accessibility and value. Number 3, California, the Western Wall. For decades, there was a lifeline pumping blood into Las Vegas. It was Interstate 15, the road millions of weekend warriors from California drove across to seek their fortunes. But now, that flow is slowing to an alarming rate. Why? Because California built its own Western Wall. This isn't a wall of brick and mortar, but a wall built to convenience, quality, and value. With 87 powerful tribal casinos spread across the state, California has created a formidable gaming empire. Its power is shown in one number you can't ignore: $12.1 billion in revenue in 2024. That figure isn't just a statistic. It's a declaration that California is no longer Vegas's backyard. They're keeping their gamblers at home. Put yourself in a Californian's shoes. The question is practical. Why would you suffer a grueling 6-hour drive to the desert, only to pay insulting penalty fees in Vegas, when you can drive 1 or 2 hours to world-class resorts like Pechanga, Yamava, or Morongo? And make no mistake, these are not second-rate casinos. These establishments have risen to a level that meets and often exceeds anything on the Las Vegas Strip. They offer better restaurants, higher quality entertainment, and superior customer service than half the resorts in Vegas. Most importantly, they deliver something Vegas has forgotten: value. Here, you can gamble without being nickel and dime by hidden fees for Wi-Fi or outrageous resort charges. This isn't just an economic shift. It's a shift in loyalty. Millions of Californians have now chosen their local casinos, not just because it's cheaper, but because they feel welcomed and respected. They're tired of being treated like walking ATMs. The Western Wall is holding strong, and it's shaking the very foundation of the Las Vegas empire. Number 2, Florida, the rise of convenience and transparency. Picture this. For a gambler, a trip to Las Vegas is a pilgrimage. It requires booking flights, planning time off work, and a significant financial commitment before you even step on the casino floor. But for a resident of Florida, a trip to the casino isn't a major event. It's a spontaneous decision on a Tuesday night. This is Florida's killer advantage: sheer convenience. Instead of a cross-country flight, it's a 1 or 2 hour drive. The habit has changed. Going to a casino is no longer a luxury vacation, but a regular leisure activity, a concept Vegas completely forgot in its race to chase super-rich whales. Florida's revenue explosion proves the power of this model. The state is no longer a small regional market, but a heavyweight contender. The numbers for November 2025 tell the story. Non-tribal casinos generated approximately $58.2 million from slots alone, a 3% increase over the previous year. This growth is even more impressive considering Florida's high 35% tax on slot income. They are thriving even with a heavy tax burden. And when you factor in the massive hard rock empire of the Seminole tribe, The entire Southeast region contributes to an industry worth $10.2 billion. But the numbers aren't the whole story. Florida is winning on transparency, a value Vegas has tossed aside. When you go to a casino in Florida, two things are almost certain. Parking is free, and there are no resort fees. Meanwhile, in Vegas, you're ambushed by a minefield of costs. Resort fees from $35 to $75 a night. Parking fees of $25 to $40 a day, and even $60 early check-in fees. Modern facilities like the Seminole Hard Rock in Hollywood deliver quality dining, entertainment, and service that is just as good, if not better, than many places on the Strip, but at a more honest and transparent price. The conclusion is clear. Florida has shrewdly capitalized on Vegas's mistakes. By treating customers like people instead of walking ATMs, Florida has won the hearts of the American middle class. People who still want to have fun, still want to try their luck, but are no longer willing to pay an absurd price for the arrogance of Las Vegas corporations. Number 1, Oklahoma and Texas, the border empire. If you think Vegas only needs to worry about rivals on the East and West Coasts, you've overlooked a giant rising in the heart of America. A casino empire has quietly formed along the Oklahoma-Texas border, built on a stroke of geographic genius and a business philosophy that is the polar opposite of Vegas. Let's talk economic power. In 2024, the tribal casinos in Oklahoma, Kansas, and Texas collectively generated a staggering $7.2 billion in revenue. To put that in perspective, that number nearly rivals the revenue of the entire famed Las Vegas Strip. While Vegas is showing signs of stalling, the Oklahoma City region saw explosive growth of 12.7% in that same year. This isn't just competition. It's a power shift. The heart of this empire is WinStar World Casino, a behemoth located in Thackerville, Oklahoma, just a short drive from the Texas border. And this is no exaggeration. WinStar is the largest casino in the world by gaming floor space, dwarfing any single property in Vegas. Its location is a brilliant strategic move. Since Texas prohibits commercial casinos, WinStar has become the default playground for over 30 million potential customers from megacities like Dallas and Houston. For them, a trip to WinStar costs a few hours of driving and a tank of gas, instead of thousands of dollars for flights, hotels, and hidden fees in Vegas. But the advantage isn't just geography. These tribal casinos have shattered the stereotype of being small, bare-bones operations. They now rival the Strip in the quality of their restaurants, entertainment, and service, but at a much more honest price. The deepest difference lies in philosophy. In Vegas, the ultimate goal is maximizing shareholder profit, which leads to squeezing every last dime out of customers through fees. In Oklahoma, it's a completely different story. Tribes like the Chickasaw, Cherokee, and Choctaw use casino revenue to reinvest in their communities. In 2024 alone, they contributed $210 million in exclusivity fees to the state to fund education, healthcare, and infrastructure. This isn't just business. It's community building. Las Vegas once looked down on these regional competitors, confident that no one would ever choose Oklahoma over the Strip. But they were wrong. Millions of people have done just that because they feel respected and get real value in return, instead of being treated like walking ATMs with endless resort and parking fees. Las Vegas made a fatal mistake. It abandoned the 80-20 rule of its own success. For generations, Vegas served the 80%, the middle class, everyday players who formed the bedrock of its empire. Now, the Strip focuses almost exclusively on the 20%, the ultra-rich whales who are immune to resort fees. The result is a casino floor that feels sterile and exclusionary. Blackjack tables under $25 are a myth on weekends, and the ones you can find often have a 6 to 5 payout, a scam that increases a house edge by nearly 400%. The masses are being squeezed out, and the numbers prove it. Total visitor volume to Las Vegas dropped by 7.5% in 2025. You can't fill a city with 150,000 hotel rooms by only catering to VIPs. The most damning evidence comes from its own backyard. While the Strip struggles with its identity, the casinos catering to locals and in downtown Vegas are thriving, posting record revenues for the 4th consecutive year. Their secret? They still respect the average customer. They offer the value and welcoming atmosphere that the Strip was all too willing to abandon. The era of Las Vegas as the undisputed king of gambling is over. Its monopoly on the true casino experience has been shattered by regional competitors that now match it on quality and beat it on price. For decades, the math always worked in Vegas's favor. Today, tourists are doing a simple calculation and realizing a trip to the Strip costs twice as much as it used to for half the experience. They haven't stopped gambling. They just stopped wanting to be treated like a walking ATM. Customers are leaving not because they've given up the game, but because they refuse to be a line item on a corporate spreadsheet. An expensive economics lesson. For the first time in history, the house is losing, not because the players are getting lucky, but because the corporations have priced themselves out of reach for most Americans. The damage is psychological. A brand built on the promise of a fair shot has become synonymous with corporate greed. This became undeniable when leaders like MGM Resort CEO Bill Hornbuckle publicly admitted they had lost control of the narrative and that charging $12 for a coffee with a $29 room was a mistake they were forced to correct. The future of the American gaming industry is no longer a single point in the Mojave Desert. It's regional. It's decentralized. It's a weekend trip to the Oklahoma-Texas border or a Tuesday night out in Florida. These new capitals are building their empires on loyalty, convenience, and value. Three things Las Vegas decided it could live without. The city that perfected the art of the invitation is now mastering the art of the insult. But that's the data. What matters more is your experience. Have you stopped going to Vegas? Was it the $50 resort fee, the $25 parking charge, or seeing only $50 blackjack tables? And more importantly, where are you taking your gambling budget now? Let us know in the comments. Your story is the most powerful evidence of this gambling revolution.